It would be an understatement to describe Robert Geeves as a man unlucky in love. Earlier this year, we told you how two of the women in his life met tragic and suspicious ends. One shot dead, the other missing without trace. Geeves was investigated but cleared of blame both times. Well, tonight you'll meet a third woman who claims her life was shattered by Robert Geeves. For 25 years, Erica has tried to forget what happened. But after Liam Bartlett's investigation on 60 Minutes last April, she's decided to speak out about the man who still haunts her dreams.
Robert Geeves.
Yes?
We were wondering if you could spend 10 minutes with us to sit down and discuss some of the many allegations that have been levelled at you.
No, I won't, matey.
There's so many questions, Mr. Geeves.
Yeah, there are.
Questions have surrounded New South Wales farm worker Robert Geeves for most of his adult life.
Amber Haigh, the
Now,
mother.
watch your fingers.
Questions about his involvement in the mysterious deaths of two of his girlfriends.
Mr. Geeves, the mother of your child.
Now, following an investigation by 60 Minutes earlier this year, new questions have been raised about Robert Geeves.
I can remember his breath on my neck, I just started to feel under my shirt.
He started touching you?
Yeah. I remember that time ended up in having sex with him.
Erica had just turned 13.
I first looked again at his photo.
25 years on, after seeing our story, she's come forward to revisit her past as a teenage runaway at the centre of a statewide search. Young and vulnerable, she says she fell into the clutches of Robert Geeves and over the period of a month was sexually assaulted. What's made you decide you want to talk? Why now? Why all these years later?
When I had seen your story about Robert Geeves, it really affected me for a little while, to be honest.
Was it that you saw Robert Geeves again, or was it because he was acquitted of murder?
Yeah.
And acquitted of anything to do with a young woman who disappeared?
Yeah, and because I actually saw their faces, I guess.
The two young women Erica is referring to are Amber Haigh, who disappeared without trace and is now presumed murdered, and Janelle Goodwin, who was shot dead and dumped in a wheelbarrow. Two women who never knew each other, but who each shared a relationship with one man, Robert Samuel Geeves.
In the eyes of the law, he's a innocent man, but he's been lucky. That's the best way to put it.
Gay Creer was a detective who investigated both cases. Or he might say unlucky.
He might say that. I'd say he's very lucky.
First was Janelle Goodwin, a 29-year-old nurse who moved in with Geeves and became pregnant to him. Janelle's body was later discovered on the farm with a gunshot wound to the head. Geeves told police it was an accident. That's his defence.
That was an accident, yep.
Is it possible?
Well, obviously the jury thought so. There was an argument, and this is how supposedly it went. A firearm was produced. A struggle ensued, and she was shot through the nostril.
But it is what happened next that disturbed police. Geeves stripped Janelle naked, tied her with rope from ankles to throat, wrapped her body in bed sheets and bound a plastic shopping bag over her head. He then dumped her body into a wheelbarrow in a shed at the back of the house. And what's Geeves' explanation for doing that?
He panicked. That's it, he panicked.
Would she have still been alive at that point?
It's unclear, but certainly she didn't die instantly there and then when she was shot.
He didn't think of calling the police? He didn't think of calling an ambulance?
Well, here's your loved one lying on the ground with a shot through the face, but his reaction was different. I suppose everybody's got different reactions to things, but his reaction was extreme.
Years later, Geeves was tried for the murder and acquitted. But Janelle Goodwin would not be the last young woman in a relationship with Geeves who'd meet a tragic end. Amber Haigh, an intellectually disabled 19-year-old, was next to take up with Geeves, and she too became pregnant to him.
She was a happy little girl, like a happy girl.
Amber's mum, Rosalind Wright, remembers a vulnerable daughter who was desperately seeking affection.
She was looking for acceptance, looking for love, someone that showed her some kindness.
Amber disappeared in June 2002, leaving behind the baby son she'd had with Robert Geeves. Geeves and his wife Anne were the last to see Amber alive.
Do you know where Amber is?
No comment.
But at the inquest into her disappearance earlier this year, both refused to answer questions on the grounds it might incriminate them. Were you disappointed that they would not give evidence?
I was devastated. I felt robbed. Like, why couldn't they say something?
Are you relieved by the finding, Mr. Geeves?
The coroner found that Amber had died from homicide or other misadventure, but could not say how or by whom.
Do you think anyone will ever know what happened to Amber?
No comment.
For Erica, now an adult, watching Geeves walk from the court a free man was hard to take.
I think he's the luckiest man in Australia, at least.
So you hope that by telling your story, somebody might think twice if they should meet Robert Geeves?
Yeah, for sure.
For Erica, life took a tragic turn at the age of 10 when her mother died and she was sent to live with her sister in Young in country New South Wales.
Yeah, I was pretty troubled still, obviously trying to deal with my mum passing away. She was pretty much my life. All I can say is I was pretty lost.
But you'd gone to school and decided you wanted to run away, is that right?
Yeah. I didn't know where to, but just get away.
Erica and her friend were students here at Young High School. When they decided to run away, Erica's friend said she knew a place they could go. That place belonged to Robert Geeves. Erica had never met Robert Geeves, but her friend had. And when they called Geeves, he promptly turned up. Driving his distinctive green Monaro, he collected Erica across the road from the school. At the time, Geeves was in his late 20s. Erica had just turned 13. Do you recall any of the conversation that took place when he picked you up?
He'd asked my age, and so I told him.
Geeves brought the children here to the isolated farmhouse outside the town of Harden, where he lived with his wife Anne and their 4-year-old son. Within a few days, Erica says, Geeves had sex with her. Was that your first sexual encounter?
Yeah.
Do you remember how you felt? Do you have any memory of...
I think I felt a bit scared, like where you know what's happening but you freeze sort of thing.
Do you remember where you had sex, where he took you?
In that bedroom where we were sleeping.
Did it happen again?
Yeah, it did. Sort of went on to happen another maybe 4, maybe 5 times. There was one time down in his shed, another time in their bedroom.
It's interesting you remember his breath on your neck.
It gives me shivers anyway, but yeah, I'd never felt that before.
By now, a massive statewide search for the missing girls was underway, with police and volunteers combing the area for clues. Police had their suspicions that Geeves knew where the girls were. There had been reports of the green Monaro being seen at the school. But when police came here to the farm, Erica says Geeves told the girls to hide in a wheat silo away from the house. Erica's father and brother also came to town to join in the search. Frantic with worry, they too confronted Geeves. But once again, Geeves denied knowing anything.
They had pictures of me.
They were searching
asking
for you?
people if they'd noticed me around.
And did Robert tell you this?
He did. It was sort of like he was a bit proud, a bit of a flippant, maybe boastful way.
After nearly a month at the farm, Erica says she was wanting to leave, but it wasn't going to be that easy.
I had started to say that I'd like to go home, and I noticed that our bedroom window had been nailed shut after that, and another time we sort of got locked in the wheat silo for a fair few hours.
Were you, towards the end, were you beginning to feel scared, or was it a case of I just need to go home?
Just some strange things. Like, I remember one day watching out the bedroom window, which we couldn't open at that time. The little boy getting these baby chickens and being allowed to just smash them up against the tree.
When Erica was finally able to escape, hitching a ride to Sydney, she gave police a statement about what happened at the farm. Geeves was arrested and tried on charges of sexual assault.
I was up in the stand for nearly 2.5 days, and having someone yelling at you for a lot of the time, that was pretty bad for me.
Did you see Robert Geeves in the court?
He was there the whole time.
For a young girl, it was a pretty intimidating experience, and Erica's school friend was unable or unwilling to corroborate her evidence that Geeves had had sex with her. It got down to Erica's word against his. Geeves was found not guilty. His only penalty? 100 hours of community service for hindering police.
After that, I can remember just going back to my dad's car. He'd been driving me there every day. And just remember being like really quiet, and even from Dad's, like, there was just this silence the whole way home, except Dad stopped and brought me a block of chocolate.
He must have been devastated.
Yeah, it was strange. So, like, nothing ever heard of after that. Like, it was just...
That was it?
Whatever. Not even, like, now when I think about it as an adult person, I might have said to that child, "Are you okay?" Or maybe we can organise someone for you to talk to. And I sort of went from being lost to being even more lost, and went on a pretty bad ride for a few years after that.
3 times now, Robert Geeves has been at the centre of horrific allegations involving young women, and 3 times he's walked free. Only one of those women is still alive today.
It makes me feel sick when I think about it. And I pray to God that no one else is affected by him.
You hope that by telling your story, somebody might think twice if they should meet Robert Geeves.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it does help something, some way.
I hope it helps you.
Does. It helps to know that there are people that do care still. That does help.
Hello, I'm Dimity Clancey. Thanks for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our extra minute segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes on 9now.com.au and the 9Now app.